The more you experience in life, the more you'll have to offer others. So experience everything, anything and everything. So what happened was, a lot of people think that Spanx started when I cut the feet out of my pantyhose, but actually it started long before that. It started when I was selling fax machines door to door and getting my business card ripped up in my face, being escorted out of buildings all day, every day, that I woke up one day and just thought, I'm in the wrong movie. And I got out a piece of paper and I wrote down, what am I good at? And the only thing in the good column was sales. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do with that? And I ended up writing in my journal, I'm going to invent a product and sell it to millions of people that will make them feel good. And then I asked the universe for an idea, and I was very specific. And it took 2 years, and I only cut the feet out of my pantyhose one time, and I was not going to squander any idea the universe gave me because I had really asked for it. And then the minute I cut the feet out, I started trying to make it. Because I was so determined. I mean, as soon as I got the order, I was so committed.
You weren't just interested in seeing if this worked. You were committed and doing whatever it takes. I was
in it to win it. You have to remember, right? I was selling fax machines door to door, being thrown out of buildings. I had no option in my mind. I was like, I am scripting a new life for myself. I got on a plane and was gone for 2 years straight. And I went to every department store in the country that sold Spanx, every Neiman Saks, Nordstrom, and Bloomingdale's. And I would go before the store opened and do an all-store rally and tell them what my product was, explain it to them, do a demo, give out free product, and then stand there in the department for 8 hours a day and tell customers what it was, because I didn't have any money to advertise. I was selling it for them, but what I didn't realize I was doing was I was building a sales force not on my payroll, because all these people started to become so ambassadors, and they were rooting for me and they loved the product. And so sometimes just not knowing how it's supposed to be done. You have to have the courage, though, to say, even though I wasn't trained in this, because a lot of people think, well, I didn't go to school for this, so how could I possibly know? But it's inside of you.
Yeah.
I believe money just makes you more of who you already were. So if you were kind, you're going to be kinder. If you're a jerk, become a bigger jerk.
Right.
Insecure, you become more insecure. I see it as a magnifying glass, like, money. So money didn't change me. It doesn't feel weird to me to for me, it was really about, I was so inspired to make a product that was going to make a difference and make people feel good. And especially women, I feel like the industry had stopped caring about how we felt in our clothing. I always talk about aiming high and the importance of aiming high in life. And then I think all of us, we don't aim high enough. And so watch where you're aiming. And that saying, if you shoot for the moon, if you miss, you're at least with the stars.
Yeah.
My dad growing up would actually encourage me to fail. So I would come home from school and he would say to my brother and me, so what'd you guys fail at this week? And if I didn't have something, he would actually be disappointed. So, it flipped the whole model on its head. And I would come home from school and I can remember I'd be like, Dad, I tried out for this and I was horrible. And he'd be like, way to go. And he'd high five me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but he was just changing my definition of failure. Yeah. My definition of failure became not about the outcome, but about not trying. And so for me, going through life, my only failures are when I didn't try it because I was scared.
Yeah.
And my dad even took it a step further. He would ask us what we got, what the benefit or what positive came from it.
Oh, that's great.
So we'd be at the dinner table and I'd be like, I failed at that. I tried out for cheerleading and I was horrible. Or I had tried for chorus. I couldn't sing at all. But then he'd always go, well, what positive came from it? And it trained our brains also to find that. And then it became like, of course I want to try these things because you're not so focused on the outcome. I met my best friend in cheerleading tryouts. workouts. Had I not done that, so you see these moments of that, what you get out of it too, that was really cool. And I like to think about, because you mentioned this, that it's the number one fear is fear of failure.
Yes.
And so I like to take things a step further. I'm always like, why, till I get to the very last why I can get, because that's really where the truth always is.
Yes.
And so why is as human beings, the biggest fear failure? Well, it's because we don't want to be embarrassed.
Yes.
Right? So it's really ultimately fear of embarrassment,
Yes.
which then led me to fear of what other people think of me is the real root of the issue. So that is where I spend a lot of time working myself too. I've been a student of that for since I'm 16. I've been working on not caring what other people think about me. And it took me a minute, but I realized that not caring what other people think about me doesn't have to mean I don't care about them, which is a big, important thing to recognize. But, and I will practice embarrassing myself, Tony. I intentionally embarrass myself. I mean, I'll randomly just start singing in an elevator, and it's super embarrassing and everyone looks at me like I'm crazy, if I notice, I will feel if it's been too long since I've been really mortally embarrassed, and then I will do it, because if you're seeking it, it loses its power over you, then all of a sudden it's like, well, being embarrassed is the goal. And what I also realized by being embarrassed over and over again, it makes a great story. I mean, a lot of people will get embarrassed, and then the worst thing to do is be like, I hope no one saw that. I hope, I never want to talk about that again, or whatever. I'm like, hey guys, you're not going to believe what happened to me. And I realize it's one of the best ways to connect with other humans.
Yes.
So they're gifts. I'm like, every time I'm embarrassed, it's such a gift.
Say honestly, I've been a student of not what to think, but how to think. And I had this revelation at the age of 16. I had two things happen to me at that time in my life. One of my very close friends was run over by a car and killed in front of me. And my dad left home, and my parents got separated and ultimately divorced. And when my dad left home, he came into my bedroom and he handed me a cassette tape series called How to Be a No Limit Person by Wayne Dyer. And he said, sweetie, I wish I was your age when I discovered this instead of 40. And then he left. And that's the hidden blessing for that. There's always a hidden gift in the darkest of times, and my openness to listening. And I just started crying sitting in my bedroom as I put these cassette tapes in, because I realized I'd spent 16 years plus in school being taught what to think, but no one had ever taught me how to think. And I had this epiphany of, oh my God, wait, I can control how I think. Like I can actually work on this and become a student of how to think. So I really started getting as much as I could outside of school that was teaching me how to not fear failure, how to, take risks, the law of attraction, visualizing my own success, manifesting what I wanted in my life. And then really, I think more than anything, learning how to respond to what comes at you in life. Like there's so much stuff that's going to come at you in life. And the way that you think about it is either going to hold you back or propel you forward. And learning that was really enlightening for myself.
Smile and be kind, and don't take it all too seriously. Remember to laugh along the way.